No jab, no job. A few UK companies are considering making COVID jabs a condition of employment, but such a requirement could lead to discrimination against people who are unable to or choose not to receive a vaccine. So what is the legal position for employers? Can companies insist on a jab?
As of today, it is my view that employers could not insist on a jab for currently employed employees. That would be a breach not only potentially of the Equality Act and employment rights law generally, it would also be a breach of the Public Health Control of Diseases Act 1984, which actually prohibits any sort of mandatory treatments such as vaccines. If an employer was to, for example, dismiss an employee that's currently on the payroll because they refuse to get a jab, it is highly likely that that would constitute unfair dismissal.
What about asking new staff to have the jab?
For new prospective employees, right now, because there is no jurisprudence, there's no law from Parliament, it really is going to be watch this space. The parties are free to negotiate their contract. An employment contract is just like any contract. However, the employer has much greater bargaining power than the employee. So if they start insisting that they want to write this into the contract of employment, which I understand some firms have already started making preparations for that.
Employers, by law, are obliged to provide a safe workspace. So could COVID vaccinations help protect vulnerable people in the workspace?
Is an employer, as part of their general duties, does have a legal obligation to maintain a safe workplace, be that in the Employment Rights Act 1996 or the health and safety legislation from the 1970s. So you can construct an argument saying that they could make that a reasonable management instruction as part of their overall responsibility and duty of care, not only to their employees, but to their clients and customers.
So will COVID contracts actually happen?
What the issue is whether generally employers will be permitted to go down this line. And I don't believe they will. For a start, employment law really is about what is reasonable both on the employer and the employee. I foresee that it will end up in the Employment Tribunal very quickly indeed. So we will eventually get a body of case law which will set out essentially the legal position as the courts view it. Of course, another possibility which can't be ruled out, bearing in mind that Downing Street a few days ago, I believe it's the Prime Minister's official spokesperson, said that this would be discriminatory. So one option, of course, is for Parliament to grasp this nettle here and now and seek to legislate what the position is, and then the courts and everybody else would be bound by the primary legislation. So I think, to summarise, it's watch this space.